Hey guys, Realtor Adele, your favorite realtor and investment property strategist. Welcome to the monthly housing market report where we discuss home prices and appreciation, mortgage interest rates, housing affordability, and current real estate trends. We also take a look at the economy, the job market, rate of inflation, and whatever else may be going on globally or politically that may impact the way we buy and sell real property. In this month's report, we determine why mortgage rates are fluctuating. We also take a look at home values and current rate of appreciation. As for housing affordability, we will take a look at a few options that can help buying a home in today's environment more affordable. Let's begin. Home prices are currently stable, which is not unusual during the winter season. This chart compares the average median home prices in 2024, so January through December. Note the difference from the beginning of the year or the winter season when compared to the months that follow. Now, these are median home prices, which, in my opinion, are not realistic since the median home price is not determined by actual math calculations. An example of how median home prices are determined is if we have seven homes of various price points that sold, the median price would be whatever the middle home sold for. On the following slide, we'll take a look at home price comparisons with average home prices where actual math was considered. Now, it's not to discredit comparisons where median home prices are used. The concept is the same. Personally, I prefer to reference more realistic numbers if possible when sharing data. Here's a review of the average home price month over month in Metro Atlanta in 2024. As mentioned, it's the same concept. Home prices are lower during the winter months and then steadily increases during the peak season of spring summer. So again, like the previous chart referenced at the beginning of the year, note the average home price was $504,582. In February, it was $522,030, then $555,684, right at the cusp of the spring selling season in March. April through June, the average home price increased repeatedly month over month, then dropped just under 40,000 in July. Another price decrease in August, and so forth. For all intent and purposes, there is basically a shift in home prices as we move through the seasons. Now, last year, note that in the middle of summer, July, the average home price took a dip and continued to fall in August, then a slight increase again in summer. Now, why that may have happened during the peak selling season, it's simply home prices responding to the demand, the home buyer demand. So basically, when there is high buyer demand, as it happens during the spring and summer, home prices tend to increase. And in July, that seemed to have been a response to the ceiling. Think about that. Average sales price in June, 604,543. So those prices climbed pretty quickly um, at the beginning of summer, and the market responded in kind by taking a dip in the opposite direction during July and August. And again, that is a direct response of the market stalling out, having met the peak price point at the beginning of summer. This is important to note. If you're in the market to buy a home, you may want to be aware of home price trends so that you can be strategic. and buy when prices tend to be lower. Let's take a look at home price increases over the last 5 years. This data is of Q3 of 2024. Note that each state positively experienced home price increases, with the national average of home prices increasing by 57.4%. While these numbers are impressive, let's not forget what we encountered globally during this period, which is the health crisis. Again, that said, these numbers are impressive, yet they're not sustainable or realistic in a normal market. I share this with you because in 2025, we are expected to experience overall normalcy in the marketplace. This means more of a slow and steady pace in regard to home prices and appreciation. I don't want you to take on a false sense of security, especially if you're a homeowner who's considering selling. If so, it's definitely all about timing, and you may want to take that consideration sooner than later if you wish to maximize your return on investment. Here's a closer look at home price growth year over year for the top 20 metro cities from January 2019 through November 2024. So the same time frame as the previous chart, just a breakdown of it. Again, notice the drastic spike in home prices during the years we were mostly impacted by the health crisis versus where prices landed on the heels of the health crisis. Right now, we see home prices coming back down to earth and normalizing. So, again, we are expected to see normalcy and have more of a normal and stable market as we move through 2025. Home prices have a direct impact on price appreciation. Here's a look at the average home price appreciation month over month regionally as of November 2024. The blue bar is the average of all combined at 0.3% price appreciation. As previously mentioned, 2025 is expected to be a year of slow and steady appreciation overall. 0.3% may seem underwhelming. However, I think that most people prefer stabilizing and sustainable growth over volatility and price fluctuations. Of course, all real estate is local and hyper or micro local, so these numbers naturally will vary based on location. If you're interested in a more precise home price appreciation in your neighborhood, contact me and I can get those numbers to you. Here's a look at home price forecast or price appreciation as of February 10th, 2025. When it's all said and done, the average rate of home appreciation is expected to be 2.9% in 2025. Of course, these are all expectations, and again, all real estate is local, so these numbers will vary based on location. Let's take a look at housing trends in Metro Atlanta, and this is for single family detached. Pending sales were at 2,486. Actual closed sales 2,253. Days on market, the length is taken to go under contract 49. Average sales price $524,549. The percent of list price received, sellers are receiving 98% of their asking price. The month supply of inventory for single family detached homes in Metro Atlanta is 3.2 months. For condos and townhomes, pending sales were 798, closed sales were 658, days on market 61. So that is a bit of a jump and difference between the length of time it's taken to go under contract when compared to single family detached homes. And this is not unusual since most people prefer detached homes. So those homes tend to move faster than attached homes. And sometimes, too, of course, there's a price correlation. There's a number of factors, but mostly the main factor is that people would prefer a detached home versus a condo or townhome, something that's attached. So those types of home tend to move faster if the price comparison is similar or the same. The average sales price $416,664. Percent of list price received 97.9. Month supply of inventory 4.3. So that's about an extra month more than a single family detached. And again, I go back to the fact that single family detached tends to move faster than condos and townhomes, especially when the price is similar or the same. If you have a home or investment property that you're thinking of selling, or if you're just curious about its current value, scan the QR code for an instant estimated home or property valuation. Now, the results are based on a combination of actual home sales within a certain radius of your home or property. The platform knows nothing about your home or property's condition or if you've made any updates or upgraded it in any way. So, if that initial valuation seems off to you, you are able to adjust it by inserting whatever updates you may have done, or if you've renovated your home in any way. This gives you the ability to add those changes or those adjustments and upgrades. And once you do that, then the number or valuation will adjust. So this means that you have the ability to customize your home's valuation in real time by adding additional information about your property in regard to the condition of it. Of course, if you're interested in a traditional valuation, simply contact me and I will be happy to provide that for you. Now that we've covered home prices and appreciation, let's talk money. The current rate for a 30-year fix is 6.63%. This is down 13 points from a week ago. By the way, this report is a repost, so I've updated this particular chart as a result. So far this year, mortgage rates were expected to be a bit lower than they've been, which I think at one point rates were around 7%, and the expectation was for rates to remain around the mid sixes and eventually taper down to around 6%. There is no predicting where rates will land for the simple fact that wherever they land is dependent on a number of factors that are pretty much outside of our control, such as the jobs market, unemployment rate, rate of inflation, what's going on globally, politically, and economically. With rates being influenced by the 10-year Treasury yield, let's take a look at a recent spread. This chart spans over the last 2 years, runs from January 5th of 2023 through February 5th of 2025. Here we're measuring rates for a 30-year fixed mortgage over the specific period. The numbers in the middle, the orange, is the spread or difference between the actual mortgage rate and the 10-year Treasury rate. Speaking of which, the sum of these numbers will give us the percentage rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage. So we're adding green and orange, so 3.7 plus 2.77 gives us 6.48 or the 30-year fixed rate. I'm not gonna get too much into the weeds, just wanted to give a basic explanation of how mortgage rates are determined. To further drive that point home, the Federal Reserve's target rate of inflation is 2%. And we're currently, if you look to the extreme right of this chart, we're currently at 2.8%, which is a significant drop from a few years ago. However, for all intent and purposes, inflation is a large factor or major factor in what determines mortgage rates, or basically what influences the federal funds rate, which impacts mortgage interest rates. Here's an updated look at mortgage rate projections based on all that's occurred so far post this year's presidential election. Remember, rates are unpredictable and largely based on what's going on in the world at large, locally, globally, politically, economically, all the lees, right? With inflation being the main driver. That said, rates are expected to be between 6.5 and 7% for the next 2 years. If you're interested in buying a home and not sure how you can pull it off due to everything that's going on, here are three options that just may be a viable solution for you. The first and most popular solution right now that can make buying a home more affordable are interest rate buydowns. Rate buydowns are definitely not a new concept and have been around for a good number of years. They just haven't been heavily utilized until recently. Once elevated rates became the norm, rate buydowns were reintroduced to the marketplace as a means to assist in making buying a home more affordable. Rate buydowns, you're basically buying down the current interest rate to a lower number in order to make your mortgage payment more affordable. For example, right now, the current rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage is 6.63%. If we implement a 2-1 buy down, it means that your interest rate will be reduced by 2 points for the first year. Once that year expires, your rate adjusts to the initial rate of 6.63%, which at that point you can refinance for a lower rate if it's available. Another example of a rate buy down is 321. So a 321 rate buy down, your rate is reduced by 3 points for the first year and would be 3.63%. The second year, it's reduced by 2%, making it 4.63%. And the third year by 1%, making your rate 5.53%. Upon expiration of year three, your rate adjusts to the initial rate of 6.63%. Again, you may refinance prior to the buy down expiration date if a lower rate is available. There are different types of rate buy downs, and the details vary. In an effort to move through the remainder of this report, I'm providing basic info on these options. I'm actually currently working on a more detailed version of housing affordability that will be uploaded in about 2 weeks. This makes it the perfect time for you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Of course, turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss that upload. By the way, in today's environment, it's not unusual to ask the seller to fund the rate buy down on your behalf in an effort to make the transaction work. The second solution to housing affordability are adjustable rate mortgages. In a nutshell, ARMs are similar to rate buydowns in that the initial rate is set for a fixed period. However, hear me when I say these are way much riskier. Your monthly payment may increase, it may decrease, it depends on the index. It's also harder to qualify for these types of loans. During the application, you must have the ability to pay the mortgage at the higher rate once it adjusts. The third and final option that can make buying a home more affordable are assumable mortgages. In today's environment, these are really a godsend. If you're able to acquire one of these, you will be one of the few. With an assumable mortgage, you're assuming or taking on the interest rate that was in place when the seller purchased the home. For example, if the seller's interest rate was 2 or 3% when they purchased, that's the rate you will take on or inherit. The downside is you will need the seller's mortgage holder's permission to assume that rate. Typically, you apply for a home loan with the seller's mortgage holder and jump through whatever hoops they ask you to jump through. From my experience, it is a bit of a process and can take several months to accomplish. It's essentially a lot of red tape, in my opinion. The reality of it is, why would they want to pass over the lower rate when today's rate is double or almost triple what the assumable rate may be? However, if you're patient, this can be an awesome option in today's environment. Assumable loans are typically government backed loans. So these would be loans such as FHA, VA, or USDA loans. Let's recap. Home prices are currently stable, which is not unusual during the winter season. Prices tend to be lower in the winter months and steadily increases during spring and summer. 54.7% is the average home price increase for the last 5 years. However, that was a direct impact of the health crisis, which resulted in spiked and unsustainable home prices. Right now, we are experiencing normalcy in the market. Home prices have normalized as well as appreciation. 2.9% is the average rate of appreciation expected for prices this year. The average sales price for detached family homes in Metro Atlanta is $524,549. $416,664 is the average home price for attached homes. The length of time it's taken to sell a detached home is currently 49 days and 61 days for attached homes. 6.63% is the current rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage, and mortgage rates are expected to remain pretty much elevated for the next 2 years. Affordable options to buy a home right now includes rate buydowns, adjustable rate mortgages, and assumable loans. As always, it's my goal to provide you with accurate information from trusted sources so that you can make the best decisions for yourself and your family. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home, scan the QR code on this page to access my free home buyer and seller guides. If you're new here, I invite you to check out my other videos. And if you find value in anything I've shared, please click the like button. Of course, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on future videos. Most of all, please share my videos with anyone you feel may find value in them as well. That's all for now. I'll see you on the next one.